What's up, guys?
Hey.
Awesome.
This is
Hello, hello.
episode 30 of GuardianCast.
Whoa.
We,
Hi.
I
I
did
can't
double
believe we made
check.
it this far.
Yeah, because
Did
nobody
you
else
double
knew.
check?
Yep, I did. I did double
This is
check.
for sure.
Yeah.
Counting our 21st birthday, like, drunken off week, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, that
So
one.
we know that this is
While that one I
episode-
don't remember, it is recorded, so I can just look back and see it was there.
Awesome.
Yeah. So we have a guest this week, Maplewood. What's up?
The one and only.
Hello. Thanks for
Heyo.
having me.
And
Excited.
I don't know. It's kind of a slow week in Destiny, wouldn't you guys say?
yeah,
man.
it's not
Well,
a big-
actually, after 500, it sure is.
Yeah.
Oh.
So Maple, normally we just have you kind of talk about how you got into Destiny, what kind of games you usually play, and stuff like that. So, if you want to tell us about yourself.
Okay. Basically been gaming all my life.
Mm.
Basically in a bunch of different categories that brought me to Destiny. So like MMORPGs, you name an MMORPG, I've played a bunch of hours into it. Shooters, a lot of them. Some competitive, some just casually throughout the franchises, mostly first person. And then like I fell in love with Borderlands franchise.
Yeah.
So like it was just like a natural progression that I ended up going into Destiny. Bought a PS4 just for the game. One of those white PS4s for the launch title. Like it showed up 2 days after
Yeah.
launch, but I was super sad, but at the same time so hyped. It was I was very excited, and I played all the way through Destiny 1. And yeah, I'm basically here. Met a lot of great people. I'm happy to be back, actually.
When did you jump into Destiny 1?
Right at the start.
Nice.
Right at the start. I actually didn't get to participate in the beta, unfortunately, because I didn't have the PS4 by then. But
Oh, okay.
I had a lot of fun all the way through. I must admit, some of the best times in Destiny were actually like right at the start and like in House of Wolves for Trials of Osiris. Easily some of the best times I've had in Destiny. Like Taken King was obviously amazing, but like I had so much fun with friends and stuff like that right at the start. Everything was new and fresh. It was great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that's,
I actually am-
fresh now.
Yeah, actually, I was about to segue into that. Right now with this expansion, it feels amazing. I'm starting to get those feelings again, especially when I play like Gambit, go into the new social area, like the public patrol area, like
Yeah.
getting all those feelings again, and it's so exciting.
Yeah.
so have
Yeah.
you pretty much stuck with Destiny like since then, or have you taken like any long breaks or anything like that, or?
The longest break I've taken was actually from Curse of Osiris to Warmind.
Yeah,
then
that was a rough
played-
period.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
a surprise, though, right? Somebody taking
Yeah.
extended leave for.
Remember when Curse dropped and we were all like, "Oh wow, this didn't fix anything."
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I played 1 or 2 weeks of Curse of Osiris. I didn't even do the raid lair immediately. I think I did it like when I came back in Warmind.
Yeah.
And even still in Warmind, I only played for like a week. None of my friends had returned, so it was very hard for me to level up because obviously you needed a raid team a lot of the time to get a lot of those powerful drops. So thankfully, I met Godin while streaming Warframe. We like just met each other. I
Okay.
think I hosted him one night, and like instant connection.
Yeah.
It was hilarious.
Yeah.
And you guys have
And,
played
he-
Destiny and never like played Destiny together before, though, right?
Yeah, never.
That's so funny.
Literally, we met. I think it was right before Whisper had come out, and then like Whisper dropped. And he's like, "Hey, you should really come do this." And I was like, I checked it out on YouTube, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I need to come back." That Whisper quest was amazing, and like instantly got me back into the franchise. And I just want. I don't think I stopped playing that whole month.
And
Like
Yeah.
all 4 characters done Solstice. I was running out of stuff to do. I was doing PvP even though I'm not a huge PvP player. Like I was doing it like crazy. It was hilarious. I loved it. So
nice.
happy to be back. I'm
Nice.
meeting so many nice people. Community's awesome. So
And
Heck yeah.
they're both Canadian somehow. That's a weird
That's
coincidence
weird.
too.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
live pretty close together too. It's not super far.
That's hilarious.
It's
Yeah.
like down the street, didn't even realize it.
Yeah,
It's
nice.
pretty weird.
I just moved in with a Canadian, actually.
I
Uh,
heard Rex was saying
there's
you're speaking our native tongue now. You're saying a lot, huh?
Yeah.
Hey, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey.
Well, after a 24-hour stream with EXO and Huffy, the first like 20 times he said "a," I thought, it's probably just a fluke. I don't know. This is like a thing he's doing. And then I was like, no, this is
Hour
definitely a thing
21
he's
or
doing.
so.
You know.
Yeah, it was like hour 20 or 21. You seem to be using that word an awful lot. Is there any particular reason?
Yeah, there was this.
Oh, man.
That was such an experience.
It
So for anyone
was.
that doesn't know, we did me and EXO and Recked did like a GuardianCast exclusive 24-hour stream on Forsaken launch together,
Yep.
and it was a
Wow.
journey. Like
Yeah.
we went through cycles. Like about hour 5, like Recked just got like fed up with me. He was aggressing so hard. He was like, "Well, if you would have just turned around and done the public of it," I was like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa. Come on, man."
Well,
Damn.
so you guys want to just like talk impressions, like briefly, and then we'll talk specifics of kind of stuff going on in the game, I
want
guess.
to know what light everybody is.
Oh yeah, we could start with that. Maple.
I think I just hit 520 on my hunter, and I think I'm around 520 on my warlock too. So
Nice.
about
Nice.
equal at the moment.
EXO.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm in a weird spot with my Titan, which is my first character, my Warlock. I've done the daily quests on them. I believe I'm 514 on both of them,
Okay.
but I have almost all of my. Actually, I do have all of my weeklies to turn in for my Warlock, except for the EDZ turn in. So
Nice.
that's gonna bump up quite a bit from there. I still have. I just did the daily yesterday for the Titan. So I did that this morning, and whatever daily there is today to do for my Titan, I still have to do, I believe. And then you gotta figure out that bounty on the shore. There's
So
like
you're sitting on a bunch of engrams?
just sitting on a bunch of activities that I have to do, like weekly stuff,
Yeah.
because I was like,
What bounty on the shore?
the one to finish the 3 weekly
Oh
bounties.
yeah, I did
Oh,
that
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yesterday.
Well, there's the one that I can't figure out, the Oracle placement. I can't figure that one
Figured
out.
that one out.
Yeah, I had Allie showed me.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah.
So ask Allie.
Well, me and
Okay.
Allie, we did the heavy lifting because we looked around the Dreaming City for like 2 hours looking for that, and then finally
And then it
found
was
it. Yeah.
in a very obvious spot.
Yeah.
Well, one of them is the blind well activity, right? So you have to do blind well
Yeah.
stuff.
No, but we're just where you present the gift to the oracle or the
No, but I
engine or
mean one
whatever.
of the weekly bounties. It says 1 out of 3 because the quest step was removed, and I got some like span or something for the raid. Probably it was like this gray item. But yeah, so I have a lot of engrams just sitting on, and I know I'm gonna be higher than 514 just on that character, but I'm working actually on my hunter right now so that I can get all of it done by tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Nice.
Where are you at, Huffy?
Just hit 518
Nice.
and finally got the cape from Shax.
Oh, cool, cool.
Nice.
The,
Yeah.
the drop rate is just so low.
Yeah.
Yes,
it took
it
me
is.
2,000 tokens to get the cape.
Wait,
Well,
you got it from
hey, Bud.
tokens?
I got it
You
from
got it
token.
tokens?
So
Because it was
They hot patched
it was
it?
confirmed to be bugged.
I got it from
no,
token.
DMG posted a Twitter on it, and he said, "How do you get the cape?" And
He
his
said
response
rank up.
was, Rank up, yeah.
Rank up meaning like you get it from your reward when you go from like Guardian to Brave and stuff like that.
I literally just got mine from a package.
I could have swore I got my vigilance whatever on my Titan because I was able to do that. My class item I got with like one of my first engrams.
So what might happen is it might be like the broadsword in that like once you do rank up a few times in the Crucible, it will start dropping from package.
Okay.
That might be a thing that like happens, but I just got mine from the tower. I'm literally in the tower right now.
Okay.
Gotcha. Yeah, I spent like 1,200 tokens. Never got it.
Holy
Got
crap.
it like a couple games into Crucible, luckily.
Really?
So, yeah. Just a random drop. I got lucky.
I made it to 518 and on my Hunter and 516 on my Titan. Haven't unlocked the
Nice.
Dreaming City on my Titan yet. And then I'm going to start my Warlock after this podcast, actually, and try and get the dailies done before they disappear tomorrow. We should probably talk about how that works because, man,
Yeah.
there is some confusing
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, it is definitely confusing.
So
It's not as confusing as it is just a lot.
let's talk about like
Yeah.
just like generally how to level up. Basically, what you want to do if you're just jumping into Forsaken. By the way, guys, this whole thing is going to be riddled with spoilers. If you want to go in blind, this week I just have to say just shut it off. You know, like there's really
Yeah.
like you're not going to be able to get
First
around
of all,
it.
let me real quick before we begin there. Let me appeal to the people who want to go in blind. Please listen to what we have to say before you go in, because you having the tips that we're going to share probably here.
Yeah, it'll save you a lot
are
of
gonna
time.
save you so
It will save you.
much
Yep.
time.
Yeah, but
So the first thing you want to do is level up to 500 via public events.
no, do not do that. Do not do that. We wasted a lot of time doing that, but
Yeah.
Wait, you guys
yeah.
actually did that?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, we did it the
nice.
first time.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, because
Wow.
I've
How long did
actually
that take?
never done that before.
5 hours.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
I've never done that
Campaign
before,
itself took
and
about 4. So.
Oh, Maple.
Sorry. That sucks.
But once we got through the campaign, we blazed through the campaign.
Oh, I'm
really good.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys, yeah.
so
I must admit, we did it the classic way. Like, we just had Solstice. It was very simplistic to go through, just going and doing, like, public events wherever you are. I don't think we ever hit any light level restrictions.
but you
unless you're
weren't
playing
50 when you
solo.
finished, right?
No, we were really close because, like, we picked up the regional chests. Regional chests are a big pickup, by the way. Grab
they
those
really?
whenever you see some. Yeah, they're about 1,500 experience
Whoa.
per pickup.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, that's
So
good to
they're,
know for
they're
my
a
Warlock
really good
playthrough.
pickup, definitely. Yeah, try to do any public events when you're like passing by. Get them heroic, by the way, if you can. Look up videos on YouTube if you need to know how. But yeah, play as a team, and then light level restrictions don't really matter, and you get a good practice for late game leveling up because you will always be kind of underleveled. So get used to
Yeah.
that.
So, in the past, it's been beneficial to do like public events and hit the cap before starting the campaign because you get powerful rewards traditionally during the campaign. There's no more powerful rewards at all during the campaign, so you might as well use it to level up. And then, as Maple said, do the public events in between, grab some chests like in between missions, and just keep the level grind going. Then, once you're at the end of the campaign, make sure you hit 50 before you finish or whatever, and you know, turn in tokens and stuff like that to hit 500 before
Level
you do.
48. Level 48. If you do like, because we did it yesterday with the Warlock, and we got to level 48. What we were doing was we were doing a public event in between like the missions. So we would just do like, hey, if there's a public event there, we weren't going to go out and search for them. But if there was a public event there, we'd go do it. Then we go do the mission.
Mm-hmm.
We got to level 48, and everything started dropping at 500.
Right.
Yep. Yeah.
So
Super important.
wait till you hit 50, late level 500 to do any powerful rewards at all. But that is the only way to progress after 500. Just so you know, you're not missing anything. There's no trick. There's no
Well, the trick is not to turn in the Crucible one says legendary gear until you hit 500 power level. Then it says powerful gear.
right.
Yeah.
Because the gear has a hard the legendary soft cap is actually the legendary hard cap, which is a 500, and that's the highest a legendary engram can ever go, unless it's a turn in. However, this is a big however. Somebody on Reddit just figured this out. Gambit apparently has blue items, and any drop that you have in there goes well above the 500 range.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say I noticed that last
So,
night. I was getting like
he
507s
said
and
that
stuff.
he said, well, we recommend doing on your second character just grinding through Gambit because you'll be way above 500 after the campaign on Gambit.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Like ranking up in any of the playlists is a massive boost because it's a powerful engram drop.
So what you're
and,
saying
the first couple are really easy.
is finish the campaign 500 level 50, and then transfer your weapons and then play Gambit.
This is for second and third character.
Right.
It goes out to Hank ST bro. He said, I've discovered something really strange yet helpful. When my Warlock hit 517, all the vendor items that I could buy with tokens and all the blues and the Tangled Shore from the Crucible were all capped at 500. Then I leveled my Titan, transferred all my weapons over, got him to 5,500. Same thing there. Tokens, world drops, blue, everything 500. But then Gambit, blue items go above 500, enabling your second and third characters to go way higher than the previous ones if you take the time to grind out a full blue set before you start doing milestones.
That's
very convenient.
That's awesome. That's a really good pickup.
And bonus, he said bonus, exotics can actually drop in Gambit as well. You got a skull fort from a large ogre blocker.
Really?
Wow.
It
That's
literally
amazing.
dropped from the blocker, not from the match.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Wow.
I think it's
gotta get
because
Gambit.
I think it's
Yeah, I have a
actually
friend-
because the reason would be because Gambit has PvP advantages enabled, so probably they have that hard cap just removed. Might be a bug, it might not be, it might be intentional, might not be, who knows. But go out there and grind some Gambit.
Grind
Yeah.
Gambit
So,
until you get a full set before doing anything else, I guess.
Listen, I gotta be honest. I don't even know like what the most optimal way to go about it is.
It's hard
because
to
I have
tell.
a friend that only has one character. He only has a Titan.
Yeah.
He's just been grinding Gambit, and I was wondering like why it was so high light. He's already 522.
Yeah.
Just like been playing Gambit on his one character.
playing one character in the short term is
Yeah,
really
so
good.
apparently Gambit doesn't have a cap on the gear that it gives you.
But there, like, it doesn't come out above your level though. It just comes out like above
it's a rank up.
500, right? Yeah, unless it's a rank
It'd
up.
be,
Yeah,
it'd be a
it'll
rank
be-
up, and those are like every 10 or 15 games.
Are you guys?
It's-
That's Crucible too.
Those
Hell yeah.
those blues that it seems like those blues that drop are about 15 power below
Okay.
whatever.
Okay.
Like, so like I was at like 5. I think like my powerful engrams were dropping at like 522.
So
they were
someone
at
said,
507.
so someone to make it clear, get to a level 50 on a new character, play Gambit until you have the full blue set. Since blues and Gambit drop above 500, and then start your powerful activities.
That's. I mean, I don't know how time consuming that is, but that's an interesting way of going about
Anyway,
it.
really quick for the people, because we went really fast. For anyone who just like doesn't know how to get to 500, you can blow tokens,
Yeah.
or you can do public events and get level 500 blues like almost instantaneously after hitting 50.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
public events are like the slow way. If you have tokens, just blow them.
Public events in the Tangled Shore. If you go to EDZ or anything like that, you run the risk of getting old blues, which will not come out at a higher level. So, but yeah, definitely tokens is the most efficient way if you have them. Before we go on to like talking about
one more thing. Sorry. And when you're blowing those tokens, try to save a set of the armor from those places you're spending those tokens on. So Vanguard and Crucible, save the set.
Wait,
piece.
so you're saying don't accidentally dismantle
Yeah, I did that.
a headpiece
I know, I did
after
it.
you're done?
Oh,
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just too, dude. Here's the
It's
problem.
insane.
Like, I didn't delete it right away, but then all of a sudden I have like 9 boots, and I'm like, I gotta get rid of some of these boots. You
Exactly. Yeah.
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 Yeah, I got rid of it because I got done with the thing, and then as soon as I got rid of it, I was like, well, I need another piece because what happens if that's the quest next week?
Well,
You know, that's like the weekly quest, so you have to hold on to these sets.
Wait, they're
forever.
weekly?
Yeah.
That possibly we don't know.
No,
We don't know.
I think
Yeah.
it's probably once.
Yeah, we don't know.
It's a quest.
They could be level
Well,
50.
It is a
I mean,
quest, but it
or-
might be one of the things that they said
Yeah.
they rotate.
Yeah.
So
we don't know.
really don't know.
Okay.
Because with the
Either way,
Nightfall-
like we have a lot of alt space now.
All right. Before we go on
Right.
to talk about
Exactly.
like more about these challenges and resets, I want to say the campaign was really good. Like in,
Oh my god.
Yeah.
in terms of
The end.
Bungie campaigns for sure.
Did you play it through a second time? Obviously, you did,
Yeah.
Recked. And did you notice the foreshadowing about Cade being at your feet? Sooner or later, he'll turn up at your feet.
I skipped the.
I was like,
Yeah,
foreshadowing, foreshadowing.
Bro.
Yeah.
I skipped the cutscenes the second time. To be honest, I was not. I was just trying to speed run through. So.
Mm.
The interesting thing is like I don't know if y'all caught the really depressing Lakshmi line when you were getting the Ace of Spades, but like when you like turn in the
For
quest to get the
Banshee?
ace from him.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the Banshee. He's like, oh
Yeah.
wait, where's Cade? And you're like, oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh no, dude.
Yikes. Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Great
but
campaign.
yeah, so it really was like a more traditional like
Somber.
storytelling, I'd say, like than
Yeah.
usually it's this like confusing non-linear storyline with Bungie, and then you're like, I'm not really invested in any of these characters. This is really stupid. You know, like the dialogue doesn't make any
Mhm.
sense. With this, it was pretty
Mhm.
coherent, linear,
Yep.
and
Yep.
from start to finish, and I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty good writing. The dialogue wasn't insufferable like it usually is.
The dialogue was not. I didn't cringe once.
Yeah.
No.
Neither did I. It was great.
I like how that's like a selling
When you
point.
go
Like,
and you open up the dreaming city too, like there's so much more mystery in that place than
Yeah.
we've even uncovered right now.
I mean, all of the ascendants. Like, I was super like shocked when I drank my like first like walking around with the tincture for the first time. Like
mhm.
just
Yeah.
seeing like random stuff everywhere. Like,
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. It feels like when they put that trailer out and they said like Dreaming City, largest endgame destination ever. I was like, yeah, we'll see about that, you know.
yo, same.
Now I'm like,
It's
no,
fantastic.
this is totally different than anything they've ever done. This is it feels great because you get in there and it is like an explorable space that doesn't hold your hand, that the environment is to be feared, you know, like it's
Yep.
Yeah.
dangerous to like explore in there, and it just
Yeah.
feels like I'm playing an actual MMORPG, you know, is
Yeah,
what I've been
Yeah.
saying.
It
I
really
must
does.
admit, I think for the first time today, I actually felt like I wasn't totally weak because I just hit like 520.
Mhm.
And like
Yeah.
that first time when you go in there and you get one shot by everything, it's very like daunting. And
Mhm.
it's like
Yeah.
you got to take everything super careful while you're like, I took like, I think me and a friend, we explored for like over a couple hours and we like
Yeah.
got one shot by everything. But
Mhm.
going back there and being able to like incrementally feel more powerful is actually like, I've missed that
Yeah.
from Destiny.
Yeah.
You don't get that as much like in the previous expansions. So like getting that again is so cool. You actually feel more powerful over time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'd
I'm
say
loving it
this
so far.
endgame grind is like way longer and more fulfilling than at any stage in
Yes.
Destiny. Like
Yeah.
even like people talk about
Yes.
vanilla, they're like, "Oh, vanilla was so hard." It wasn't hard. It was very
hard, no.
easy to get to 29, and then like 29 to 30, you were just at the mercy of RNG was all
Yeah.
it was. It wasn't
Yeah,
hard.
we just didn't know what we were doing.
Yeah.
That's why it was
Yeah.
hard. As soon as we knew what we were doing, it was super easy and fast.
Yeah, this like we know what we're doing, and it's gonna take a long time to get to
Well,
max
the thing
level.
is
you
we
know,
don't have that much time if we want to do the raid because
Right.
the raid has, I mean, from what I've seen, the raid has been kind of spoiled with the cap that it's going to be.
okay.
And on the back end, it's supposed to be 550.
I mean, it makes sense because the Nightfall's 540, so we knew it had to be higher than 540.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, which means the end boss is probably going to be 560.
Yeah,
Yeah, that makes
Which
sense.
is kind of insane to be next week.
yeah,
Okay, so like, listen, all of us are like on
But-
like the cusp. We're like as far, like almost as far as you can be right now. We
Yeah.
all put like
Yeah.
maybe like 40 hours
Yeah.
into this, so far.
yeah,
And we're like around 520.
yeah.
Like,
Mhm.
Yeah. I will say though, the first time I did Vault of Glass, I had a blue sniper and I think a green auto rifle, and then I like, upgraded halfway through, and it was on like the first day it came out, guys. Like
Mm-hmm.
I loved that first clear of Vault of Glass easy mode. It was
Yeah.
insane. It was the best. Like I
He
said
loves that he
before,
says
like,
easy mode because it wasn't easy for him when he did it.
Yeah.
No, it was not. Not even close. It was not. Spent so much time in there. But like I've played a lot of MMORPGs, and like you go in, yeah, you die a bunch and then you just leave. But like it felt so good to go through Destiny's first raid, and I'm looking forward to trying it here and being underleveled possibly, or
Yeah.
like and then midway through it goes up higher and then you're down there in like the mid 40s or something like that, and it just starts crushing you. I'm looking forward to trying it, and
Yeah.
maybe
So-
we have to find some insane strats to do it. Like
So-
that'd be so cool.
So Bleed Blue asks a good question that I just want to put out here and explain to people. He says, what's going on with the old raids? Higher recommended new drops? No, it's irrelevant. There's no reason to do it. And I'm actually happy about that. I'm of the unpopular opinion that like content should be left behind. It could be brought back eventually, but
Yep.
I don't want
Yeah.
people grinding
I'd
old
like-
content
I'd
to
like to
get
be able to
relevant
go
light
in and
level.
one man that stuff though. Like I would like the content to be level appropriate and
Oh.
it not give you
That's a
level.
scaling issue. Yeah, they should
Yeah, I
definitely.
don't want
for
there to
sure.
be scaling at all.
Right.
And I don't want them to scale us down our power level. So I want to go in there and
Yeah,
tap
Yeah,
Callus
yeah,
in the
yeah.
face.
right.
know?
Like
Yeah.
how you in WoW you can go and like grind for old mounts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By,
exactly.
like doing old raids. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, they should let you do
Yeah.
that. That'd be cool.
Like to be devil's advocate though, I will say that like if you get any new friends coming into the game, going
Mhm.
back and doing those raids and them scaling with you is a nice thing at the same time, because you can still have that challenge and you can't
Yeah.
just completely carry them through, so they actually get some of the feeling of like doing the raid properly. So to be devil's advocate, I actually like it scaling with us.
Well, to be
honest. Like,
devil's advocate though, those people, if they don't have friends who are willing to just bite the bullet, they'll probably never get to experience those raids right now because no
Well, the
one
other
is
thing
going to
you-
be doing them. I mean,
The other thing you lose is you lose the power fantasy. That's one of the huge things about like
Yes.
a big problem with Destiny 2 is that they
Mhm.
don't until now we really didn't have like if you go into a raid and it scales you down, what purpose do you have to go above 305 if that's the case,
Mhm.
or 355 or whatever?
Right.
You don't. So
yeah, no, I get that. I'm just saying, like, for a new player coming in,
Yeah.
having friends, like, I have a new friend that I was just doing the campaign with, and, like, I want to go back and do the raids with him, but I don't want to just, like, hard carry him through if possible. Like, and I
Yeah.
like the fact that I'm going to be able to go in there and we're going to bring a bunch of friends that, like, we're both friends with, and we're just going to have a good time, and, like, we're going to probably fail a bunch. And I
Mhm.
actually, like,
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that in a way, just because, like, it's fun to go through those raids, and I'm looking forward to seeing their reaction when we fail and then when we eventually get it. Sometimes, like,
Yeah.
you don't really get that in like WoW and stuff like that, because like if you go back, you can just duo it. There might be some mechanics that you might need a extra person for, but
I actually like that though, because like especially if you're having a hard time finding a group for old content, being able to help people by being over leveled is like a nice thing, especially since the stuff you get is not going to be relevant
Well,
anyway, light level wise.
let's be honest, like we actually have the power fantasy going on because we have things like the Whisper. Like
Yeah.
that thing
Yeah.
alone melts a lot of content. Like we're gonna have really good guns going into those raids, so the power fantasy's still there, and we're gonna have that over our friends that just started the game. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
for
They're not gonna
sure.
have those weapons, so like you're still gonna get that. I feel like I don't know. I understand where you guys are coming from, but I'll be honest, I didn't like that about WoW. It like I would have liked it more if they turned like or at least they scaled the older raids towards maybe being one groupable, not
Yeah.
soloable.
Well,
Or
I
less.
I
Like,
don't
I
I
feel
definitely
that.
don't want to see
Handful of
them
people.
just be like all of the raids are now raised up to current level and it's now a way to
Oh, don't want to see that. Though.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to see that until like year 3 of D2, like when we're waiting
Yes.
on D3.
Yeah.
Like, because Age of
Yes.
Triumph was good.
Age of Triumph
It was
was good.
amazing.
Yep.
Amazing.
Yeah.
The best thing they've ever like in. I don't know. It was so good.
Yeah.
That was the best thing they've ever done with Destiny until right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
well, the hunter armor wasn't that good.
What?
I loved dismantling.
What?
What?
What'd
No,
you
the
just
hunter
say
armor
with your mouth?
for like the
Age of
chest
Triumph?
piece.
For Age of
For the
Triumph?
solstice.
For the solstice.
Oh,
Oh,
solstice. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, Solstice
I
was
enjoyed
fun.
dismantling every piece of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're
Yeah.
just leaving it all
I
behind.
thought you were talking about for Age of Triumph. I was gonna say, like, dude, that King's Fall armor with the ornaments, I thought was
Amazing.
yeah.
Dude, it had like no good PvP perks, but like everybody was running it in Crucible anyway because
Yeah.
it looked so cool.
Yeah, with the bones. Oh, it was so good.
Yeah.
They've finally clarified these 4-day reset things. You'll notice on your director there is daily challenges, and on some characters you may notice there is multiple of them, up to 4. What happens is over the past 4 days, 4 of them have accumulated, and then tomorrow, the first one that came out on Tuesday, which was heroic story missions, is going to reset. So basically, you have until tomorrow to do that on all your characters. If you're planning on running multiple characters, now's the time to grind it out, basically. Because those are repeatable things every 4 days. That sounds like a smoke
Yikes.
alarm or something.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Hmm.
Good?
Is your house on fire?
No, that is my Kellen. You really need to go to work.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
But I'm gonna wait till the
gotcha.
end of this. and
Well,
then
do you have anything you want to say about PvP, like before you have to get going, then, or something, Huffy? Like you,
Yeah, lay it
Okay.
on us.
yeah.
Everything is so good.
Okay.
PvP. Like everything is so powerful that like the Crucible finally feels like dangerous again, and like you have individual power, like both because of skill and because of grind. Like the
Yeah.
ability to I felt like this before the patch, but like now with all these new weapons and everything, like they've just made so many weapons like just feel good. We have weapons with like great handling now. We have weapons with great like one-shot potential. They adjusted full choke on shotguns, so that like things aren't blanking. Hand cannons are registering. All the new submachine guns are shredding. The new auto rifles have insane range. Like it just feels good to play Crucible. They're just like allowing everything to like be kind of dangerous and be lethal and like have skill gaps, because like the thing that happens when you like neuter weapons to like balance them is like you diminish like the skill gaps on them. Like Ace of Spades is really good.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like OP, right? But
I
like
actually don't think it is now that I've spent more time with it. I don't think it
Yeah.
needs to be nerfed or anything.
I don't think so either.
Yeah.
I don't think so
Yeah,
either.
that's
But
good.
it's so strong that like it allows good players to do more with it,
Yeah.
and like less like capable players to have fun with it. And I'm super happy with the direction they took, and I can't wait to see what happens as we get more and more exotics like flowing.
What?
Because the thing about Destiny 1 Crucible was it felt like your choice of exotic, like so it felt like your subclass was only part of like your role on your team,
Mhm.
and then your exotic like furthered like your specialization, and now it feels like we have those specializations again.
What playlist and loadouts are you enjoying playing the most?
Comp is I've been solo queuing comp,
Okay.
which has been really fun. Solo queuing comp with the new Night Stalker super, and then doing some quick play with the new Golden Gun super. The new Golden Gun super is just insane to just be able to jump in front of like 6 people and destroy them.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
it's been a lot of fun.
I'm grateful.
At first, I was very daunted by all this shotgunning and Titan scaling and stuff like that. But I must admit, once I forced myself to use a sniper, I started having way more fun with Crucible and just getting like really fun headshots and stuff like that. And then once you find your weapon in the new meta, like it's been a lot of fun using the inaugural address, Lone as a God combo, and then just
Yeah.
like throwing in a power weapon every once in a while. Like I've been having a lot of fun.
How are you
And that's-
managing your ammo with like? So you get
Well, that's-
with like the sniper, you get 2 kills or you
Yeah,
don't, and then
like
what?
we've talked a lot about
Yeah.
about it like on stream and stuff like that. Like 2, it feels like it's too few unless you're really good at hitting those snipes. Like there are sometimes, I'll be able to hit those 2 headshots and then use inaugural address to fight my way to the ammo that I
Yeah.
just got from the dead body. But then there are times where like you'll body one and then maybe body another, and then or just miss both, and then you're just like, well, I can't use a sniper anymore. I have to use an auto address. So
I gotta go jump off the map.
yikes. But yeah, I have had fun like off spawn getting some snipes and then using my inaugural address, which feels really powerful in my hands. Like being able to kill one person, reload for the kill clip, and then being able to two burst someone. It's been a lot of fun doing that, and then just fighting my way towards the next special ammo that I just got on the floor. It's been okay. It definitely rewards a more reserved playstyle, because there are times where like I'll be at the end of the match and I'll have like 10 shots of Alone as a God, and I've been using it the whole time. So like being able to play both aggressive to get your ammo, but also reserved enough not to die is this very like interesting playstyle. It like I don't like COD very much, but it very much feels almost like COD, but you're not like camping to get that like long kill streak.
You're not
but, like,
talking
you're
about time to
playing
kill
reservists
wise.
to keep your ammo.
Like,
Makes
No,
sense.
actually, Destiny has a shorter time to kill right now than Call of Duty does.
No.
For Black Ops 4 it does, yeah.
Call of Duty's time to kill is under 0.5 seconds.
was also
Black
gonna
Ops
say,
4's beta was like something like 0.8 or something like that.
Well, you can one shot with
pretty-
the throwing knife like really
it's
easily
pretty
like,
high.
to the
Yeah,
body. Like I remember seeing a Shroud clip where he went tomahawk.
Yeah, they've changed a lot of it with Black Ops 4 though. This new Black Ops is changing the direction for the series.
Well,
I
no,
mean,
that
I'll
was
admit,
a clip from the beta though.
I'll admit, I've
this
never,
Call of Duty.
I haven't played Call of Duty in years, but every Call of Duty I've ever seen and played has always been much quicker than the pace of Destiny that we're playing right now.
I mean, either way, what Maple is saying is like the reserve, like I mean, like that, like reserve feeling of like baiting corners and stuff. Like it feels beneficial to bait again. I think, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
I understand what you mean. Yeah.
it used to only be like the time, because of the time to kill, you like just had to play aggro and play aggro and play aggro, and you get like not rewarded for it. But now like first shot means something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Do you think, I mean, that's a two-sided coin, though. I mean, like, there is, like,
It
benefits. I think because of the high mobility, like, the slow time to kill just wasn't working in Destiny. But you play a game like, classic Halo, and you're like, yeah, that guy shot me first, but I'm skilled enough to spin around and outgun him anyway, And that, like, that was good.
But you can still. I'll counter a point. You can still do that in Destiny 2.
Yeah.
Because
It's not so short that, like, you don't have time to react.
Yeah.
And, like...
Now, I will admit, I don't like flinch on sniper still. I thought, like, oh, man, I'm going to get the sniper unflinching perk on my chest piece. I'm going to go in there. I can't wait. It's going to reduce it by 50%. And then maybe I'll start, like, being able to shoot at people again that might be plinking at me with an auto rifle across map. No.
I'm going to be, like, kind of toxic for a second.
I love you all so much.
Throw it out.
You're where it's at.
Take it out. All right.
I'll see you
Peace out,
tonight.
buddy.
Let's play some Gambit.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Gambit, man.
Awesome. All right.
Hell yeah.
I was listening to Cammy Cake's thoughts on the new Crucible, and man, every time I watch one of his videos about the Crucible, I'm just like, I disagree with literally everything this guy has to say. Have you ever listened to?
No.
No. Do you know who Cammy Cakes is? No.
Name sounds familiar. Don't think I've ever seen any of their content.
Oh, okay. Well,
So what
I mean
are they
that makes this a lot less relevant, but I don't know. He's a content creator in the Destiny community, and he plays like a lot of gimmicky loadouts. But I was listening to him talk about snipers, and he was basically just like, no, like the flinch doesn't need to be improved, and the ammo doesn't need to be improved, and like you just need to get good, and like you shouldn't be able to just have unlimited ammo and all this stuff, and it's like, no one's asking for unlimited ammo, but I literally had more ammo before when they were in the heavy slot. Now I feel like I never have ammo for whatever reason. It's
I can, yeah. Like, what console is he? Or sorry, what platform is he?
He's on
playing
PC.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, because I've heard that opinion a lot from people that play on console, for instance, and I think it has something to do with the aim assist,
Yeah.
maybe affecting the flinch in some way, maybe like slowing it down or something along those lines. But yeah, they need to address that. It just they're like if you don't flick shot or quick, like it's not quite quick scoping, but like get the initial shot or first shot with your sniper, there is very little chance at all that you will actually be able to kill that person with a sniper, because they're just if they shoot anything at you, you're probably gonna lose. Unless you're maybe a scout rifle, you can shoot between the shots, but like that's really hard to do, and very few people I've seen be able to do that. So,
I personally am not like really feeling Crucible right now. I can't seem to get my groove in it. It feels like it doesn't like I felt like I had a lot of muscle memory before, and it was like super quick and fluid.
It's hard to get that back.
Everything that like has changed, I just feel like is not beneficial to my play style at all. So like hand cannons are bugged, snipers have ammo issues. I hate using shotguns. Like I am just not gonna use a shotgun in the Crucible unless like you know it's for a quest or something like
what
that.
About fusion rifles?
They suck on mouse and keyboard. The problem is the bolts are dependent on aim assist because they'll curve towards people with a controller. They're really not great on mouse and keyboard. Unless you use Telesto or something and use it as a trap, you know, you could do that. But...
Yeah. Like what I would say, Recked, is I haven't used a shotgun in a while, aside from like the chaperone quest. Just force yourself to use a sniper, and then you kind of have to play not quite a reservist playstyle, but more of a like go for the first shot. Hopefully you get the first shot on the peak, and then don't try and do the follow-up. Just either reposition or find some kind of primary that you feel comfortable using. Like obviously they need to fix the whole hand cannon bug. It is the worst thing.
Well, a lot of the changes are just hard for me to wrap my head around too. Like, so now that the slots are, you know, you could have a sniper and kinetic energy. My keybinds are just fucking me up. Like I'll be in an engagement where I want to switch to my other weapon and I'm just hitting the wrong button, and then I'm like, oh crap, it's the other button, you know. And then if you switch to the opposite, then it's like just as confusing, you know, because now it's like, oh, I've been using this for 2 hours and now like that muscle memory is no good, you know. So
I think for me the way I did it was I've been using sniper in my primary and then having an energy whatever you want to call it,
and like just only doing that, like never
in PvE. And actually I like it in PvE. It's a lot of fun to use PvE. And then in Gambit I use the same loadout, and then like it just kind of I got the muscle memory pretty fast. I'd recommend that if you want to really try and do that. But yeah, I totally hear what you're saying. Like you might use a totally different loadout and your brain is not gonna follow you with that new change. I get that.
But I haven't put a whole lot of time into it. I am definitely like grinding hard at PvE for now because I want to be raid ready for sure. Day
like you're
one.
You're leaving after 5 games of Crucible, and you're like, "That's it for me."
Yeah, exactly.
On to the next activity.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and like I've never been like that before, but there is so much to do right now. I just feel like, you know, endlessly grinding Crucible is not the most productive use of time.
I actually really like and prefer how they actually show you how to level up, because we were talking about this during the 24. Like they were very not coy, but they were very kind of not obvious about where your level up path, and that's where those strategies to get yourself to this cap and then do this and then do that and do this. It's like if you honestly just it might take you a little bit more time, but if you honestly just went through it and you said, well, you know, I'm just going to go through the campaign the way that it is. It's going to be difficult for me, but I'm going to get there. Then you got to 50, you realize the soft cap was 500. And then you started to realize that all that stuff changed the powerful gear. Like, the only thing that you should know is not to turn in any legendary gear. And then it'll all become powerful gear. And after that point, it's like, what do I do to level up? Well, what missions do you have to give you powerful gear? Because that's the way you do it. It's really clear. Really clear.
Yeah, this is a good system for both the hardcore hobbyists and the casual individual playing a couple hours a week. It's a nice balance because like it'll take a long time for the hardcore player and they can level up all their characters, and we're not feeling like we're rushing through anything because like it's taking us a lot of time to level up. But at the same time, like what you just said, like Exo, like yeah, like for sure, like it's not really that hard of a system to grasp your head around, aside from like the daily resets. Like, but I think that'll be easier as soon as we know what's going on with that. Like we have had a couple weeks to deal with that. Like
they did
it's not
say
the
that
most confusing thing.
they were gonna have a calendar or
Yes,
something
yeah.
where they were
Oh,
gonna
that'd be
tell us
nice. Yeah.
what
Yeah, yeah.
resets
I
and when
remember
it resets, because on the
Yeah.
first day they were all available, and they are all available, but the way it's
Yep.
supposed to work is strikes are supposed to reset on Tuesday and Saturday.
Mhm.
Gambit
Yeah.
is supposed to reset on Wednesday and Sunday, and the 4-day
Mhm.
schedule for those things. So it, like, essentially, if you were to log in on Saturday, you should have a Crucible. Like if you
Mhm.
only logged in one day, you'll still have all those 4 to do. But if you're logging in every day, you want to get those things done every day, because
Yep.
you won't have them to do the following. You're losing rewards if you don't.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I must admit I like their current system. It's really good. I think can we say this is the best progression system they've implemented ever?
I think
I
so. I
don't-
mean, we haven't
I
seen
want to say that.
we haven't
I wanna say
seen
that.
what the raid is going to do. I'm curious. I think
Mhm.
it, in my opinion, depending on the encounter, I think it would actually be interesting if like you had a chance at rewards that were scaled to the light level of the encounter you do in the raid, as opposed to just being a
I'd like to
small
see that.
upgrade from
Same,
what you
same.
have. You know, because
Yeah,
that
I'd like
way
to
it's
see
like
that.
if you're under leveled, you overcome a challenge, you could really like get an extra push at your power level. You know what I
I'd really
mean?
like to see set gear rewards for the raid,
Yeah.
like at a set level.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Um,
Okay.
And then that'll help us push towards hard mode. Whatever hard mode will probably be like 580 or something like that. 560
Yeah.
normal mode, 580 hard mode, something.
What was that flavor text that they kept saying that like if you do a harder activity, it will reward you if you were under leveled for it? Do you remember? Like
I
do
do
you guys
remember
They-
them saying
They
that.
said, yeah, they said we're
Yeah.
gonna try and reward you for doing activities that,
Yeah.
like they said,
That
like
are
it'll
well
be
below.
scared to the activity as opposed to
Yeah.
your player level.
So
But-
far, I don't think we've seen.
No, I haven't seen
And
anything.
we haven't
like
seen
that.
any of it yet.
Yeah.
The first day, like I did a lost sector with my friend, and I think we were like 40 below, even in Dream City and in the normal
Mhm.
first patrol space, and we just got 500 stuff. Did it happen last night in the Nightfall? We were like,
we
I feel
did.
like I got a powerful
No, we
No.
higher
did
than
the.
normal, but I can't
Because
tell.
it's
We did the
540. It
reward.
didn't come out 540. That's for sure.
No,
Well,
it
no,
didn't come
I
out
wasn't
540, but it
540.
came out a little bit higher. I want to say,
That's-
so it was like a
yeah.
little bit higher. It was not 540. It should be 540 in my opinion.
Or somewhere in between, like in the 30s maybe.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, would that progress us too fast? Like.
It would
No,
be
I
don't know,
one.
like-
It would be one reward a week that you could possibly.
Yeah, if it was like low 30s, I'd be totally down for the system. I just worry too that like if they start giving out too big of flight increases,
Mhm.
I'd be worried that like, oh wow, now we're all of a sudden like to be the devil's advocate here, I know we're all hard players, but like for the casual player, like not a lot of them are going to be able to do that stuff underleveled, and like the hardcore players are just going to like by and far like go way farther ahead.
Well, the actual issue with that, that makes it harder for the casual player then, because
What's
like-
the problem with that though? Because like the casual player is probably not doing the raid next week. So what
Yeah.
is the rush? They're gonna get to that content eventually. It's just gonna take longer.
yeah,
Well, I think it's a two-parter. Number one, like the hardcore player goes way farther ahead than the casual player,
Mhm.
and like if you play WoW or something like that, there are breaks to slow down your progression. If you could play 48 hours in a row and get like a huge amount of progression in WoW, but there are breaks that slow you down.
There's breaks
So
in
you're not
this
gonna,
too.
like-
That's the weekly
Exactly.
milestones.
And
Mythic
I don't
Plus,
mind that.
Mythic Plus is that in between though that you can continue to do over and over again.
Yeah, and we have that here with Prime Engrams. It's the same concept, but you can do anything, which
Mhm.
I kind of like more. I like being
Yeah.
able to play literally anything in the playlist
Mhm.
and get like what you said, like Mythic Plus esque
Prime
progression.
Engrams is only once a day though, right?
No,
No,
I've
no.
gotten more than
it's
one.
a weird system.
You
Like,
have a
I
buff.
know what
you
you're
have
saying,
a
Axel.
buff
I was
once a day.
confused.
right? It's
Yeah,
the
I was
prime
confused as
attunement.
well. Yeah, I don't know if there's a limiter or something along those lines, but yesterday I got like 3 prime engrams in my hunter. Like seriously, 3 of them. On the first day, I got 1 prime engram and it disappeared. The buff was gone. The second day I played, I think I got 1 or 2 prime engrams, and then literally yesterday I got like 3, like 2 from Gambit, 1 from Crucible. Like
Yeah,
Here's
I'd much
a
rather have that as a level system than getting the steadfast engrams for Eververse. Like I
pro
could care less about that loot right now.
pro tip with
exactly,
that
yeah.
too. Constantly check your postmaster, because a prime
Yes.
engram drops on the ground. It will not like go directly into your inventory. So if you miss it and forget to pick it up or never saw it, then it could sit in your inventory all day and be irrelevant by the time you actually go to turn it in, if you're not keeping an eye on that.
Yeah, it does not auto decrypt.
Right.
Does not. It will be an engram. So you got to be checking your postmaster or your inventory. And if you see it in your inventory, go to the postmaster as soon as possible and get that thing decrypted. If you're going to do any reset activities that are going to give you powerful gear, because it's a stacking thing. You forget about it, it will slowly decrease in how much it's worth.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely.
So what level do you guys think we're going to be able to be by the time the raid goes live? You think we'll be like 540?
540,
Yeah,
like
I think
that
so.
range. Because like
Here's my
I don't-
concern with that. If we get to 540, we'll probably be able to get through the first couple encounters of the raid, and then the end encounter, we're going to get level checked hard, most likely. It's going to be like...
I mean, it'll still be done. Have you looked and seen what the encounters are called?
No, I didn't know that all that leaked.
I have.
It's actually in the triumphs. There is a
Tell me there's no
listing
strategy or anything like that.
No,
like,
there's
that would
a
ruin
listing of all the
everything.
encounters, like
No,
in
no,
order, like in the order that they happen, pretty much in the
okay.
raid.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
spoiler alert for anybody who hasn't gone and done that, but there are 6 total encounters or 5 total encounters, I think, in the raid.
That's gonna be a long raid.
Point for point.
I'm sure they're not all bosses, but
it said vault entered or something, or vault decrypted or something like that.
Yeah,
So it's
vault
still an
decrypted,
encounter,
that's
but
the
it's not a boss. But there are 4 bosses total.
okay.
Yep.
And there's 1 like non-boss.
So it's back to like
Yeah.
traditional Destiny raids. That's cool.
Mhm.
Like more bosses. I like that.
We have no idea how many jumping puzzles there are, though, because they have said like
Yeah?
one of the things is like how many secret chests have you unlocked is like that's one of the triumphs.
Yeah.
So Maple's actually going to be on my raid team. I'm curious, what class are you going to be playing for the raid?
I don't know.
You don't know yet.
Don't know yet. I'll play whatever you guys want me to play.
Okay.
I'll be honest. I can play anything, and I'll
Highest level.
Highest level, yeah. But I'll be honest. I'm looking forward to actually failing, not being high enough power, possibly. It's a possibility. Like we get to the end encounter and it just starts one-shotting us, and there's no strategy that we can develop, and having to level up and go back. It will remind me of those struggles in WoW or any of the other MMORPGs I played, where as a raid team we failed together, we got more powerful doing X, Y, or Z, and then we went back maybe with a new strategy, and we went in and it feels that much better. I don't know. It's hard to explain if you haven't, like maybe you guys have experienced it as well if you played MMORPGs, but like I don't really want to go into the easy mode raid and be able to clear it first day.
No, I do want to clear it first day because it's going to be important to clear it first day. You know why?
I agree. Yeah.
Because we're going to get an emblem if we clear it on the first day.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
We got to figure out, we can't give up till we get it.
I get you. We're not going to give up. Yeah, we're going to do 12 hours. I know, but I am in a way, but that's a good point as well. Like it'll feel even more important that we're under-leveled and we cleared the first.
Well, I'll tell you.
Apparently,
Stars, nothing. The first kill that we did was Spire of Stars. I think the highest that we had in there was 370, 372, or 370. I was 371 or 372, and it was a 385 activity. And I think the boss was actually leveled at 400, or no, he was leveled at 385. Like his final level was there. So when I when we did that, it was intense. But then
I bet. Yeah.
but then it gets easier. You know,
Mhm.
the more you find ways
So-
to do it, then you can look
so
up
if I-
strategies and
Yeah.
figuring out.
If
My
I-
goal is to get all 3 characters in the first 24 hours done.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Whoa,
But I
that-
guess to
I'm
clarify
not
my
doing that.
point is that a lot of people will probably be hitting that light cap and then not being able to clear an encounter and having to go back. And I think that's almost a good thing just because number one, it'll give more prestige to the easy mode raid in terms of people looking in on the Destiny experience. Because like a lot of my friends that play other MMORPGs, they just like, oh, it's a Destiny raid. It's cleared in 24 hours. It's whatever. You know, like it doesn't get any prestige in like
Yeah.
the MMORPG experience, but like if it's harder for the casual experience, like it will definitely get a larger following, and I am looking forward to that. That's going to be nicer
Yeah,
to
that
like see a more difficult experience.
you're definitely right. That's a contrast. Like I always tell people when I used to play EverQuest, there was an encounter that they made called Carafim the Sleeper, and it's like
Yep.
notorious in the MMORPG world because it was designed to be impossible. And what like 3 major clans on a single server got together with like 200 people and like took this thing down,
yeah.
and it
I've
was
seen a video on it.
it was
Yeah.
so messed up because the first time they went and did it, they got him down to like 10% health, just whittling him away. And a GM popped in, despawned because he thought they were cheating. You know, like there's no way. So he despawned
saw
it
that.
in the middle of their encounter. So then they had to meet up again and do it again because they realized, oh, Sony made a mistake. They're wrong. So they went back and did it again, took it out. And this is like months and months after this content had been released. You know, like not 24 hours, but so they went back and did it again with 200 people, took him down again, killed him, and he dropped nothing. I mean, what a crazy thing.
Yeah.
And then he never respawned on the server ever again.
Crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
But it's like that prestige. Like
Yep.
I think that video has like several 100,000 views of like them telling that story, and it's like it's super prestigious. Like you kind of want a harder rating encounter even just for the casual experience because it sounds better.
To the credit of the casual raider though, they've gone out on the limb and said that, you know, while it'll be hard, it is definitely attainable. That you know, they've circled around the 24-hour mark and they've said you want to hit that because we're going to give you a special kind of gift, and we know what it is. It's an emblem,
Right.
but I mean, we want that emblem.
And also, if you're
Yes.
the first raid team to finish, you're going to get apparently a real life trophy. So
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
that's cool. I don't foresee us being that team, but you never know.
World first,
Yeah.
last wish. You get the belt that has the. Did you see that?
I think
saw
our
that.
goal,
That's wild.
Maple,
That thing looks great.
our goal just needs to be to beat Exo's team personally.
Oh,
So.
of course. I mean, that is. That'd be great.
Where there's like you know, so like most of the team doesn't want to know anything about the raid. You know, I've just been like looking at it.
It's
That's all.
hard
I
to
didn't-
like
I didn't
not
like
be
I don't want to know
competitive.
any spoilers or
Yeah.
anything like that, but it's really hard to to not be spoiled like that because like it's actually in the game and all you have to do is look at the title,
Yeah.
the badge for it.
It's just a title of the encounter, though. It doesn't tell you how to do it or really what it is or
No.
anything.
Right. Yeah. And I'm glad to know that there is at least, you know, X number of bosses. So
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I'm excited. Very excited.
Same. I
Gonna
am
be cleared in 2 hours. Let's go.
be on the grind. I'll be probably doing my
Oh,
third
man.
character tonight.
Yep, working on it right now. Actually, well, not right now, but you know, I'm still logged in. I'm sitting right now in the Tangled Shore.
Yeah, I'm just sitting in the new place, Dreaming City, doing heroic events.
Tangled
Nice.
Tangled Shore, the new Iron Forge.
Nice. You guys have anything else you want to talk about, or there's not really
I
much in
love
the
the mis-
TWAB.
I yeah, unfortunately not. But I guess I'm really looking forward to all the mystery.
Mhm.
Like, what are all those crystals in the Dreaming City? Why are they all immune? Why
Yeah.
are they in all these different activities?
Yeah.
Like, what?
I don't
what
know
are
how
they
to get
for?
The
that
worms.
one
Have
heroic,
you seen the worms, dude? There's a
Yes.
chest
Yeah.
like about the worms, and there's these little worms you can kill, but like there's no tracker for them or anything, and like
Yeah.
it's interesting for sure. It's gonna take a
There's
long
so much
time.
mystery. And then obviously they've already said like every week this place is gonna change. So I'm looking forward to seeing
We'll
how
see
it
how much
changes.
that holds up. Like if it's a
Yeah,
That's
is
what
it
you said
flavored
about the
text?
Dreaming
Yeah.
City, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
We'll
Like, so
see.
far-
I want to keep my
so far they're
expectations
impressing me.
low, man, because like
Yeah.
And be impressed. Yeah.
that feels
I
like an
must admit-
overpromise to me. We'll see.
Yeah. I must admit I went into this saying like I was very reserved.
Hmm.
And I'm very pleasantly surprised with everything we've gotten so far. So
Same.
I'm trying to keep my hype down, internalized, but like it's hard. It's
My-
coming out a lot.
My hope
Without
going
hype,
forward
that's-
is that, like, with each content release of the annual pass, that they give us a significant grind again on the light level,
Mhm.
you know, and obviously a new raid layer to do with some end game content, hopefully sprinkled into the Dreaming City. Like, I don't expect a whole new space or anything. And if that can keep us like held over, just grinding out for the year, and then there's another big content release like this next year, that would be insane. You know,
Well,
like
in December, we will get a new raid layer. We know that.
yeah. I hope it's not just a raid layer and they're like, yeah, we raised the light level to 620. You know, I mean that would be
Oh,
Yeah.
it'll be well, if this expansion is an indication, it should be pretty substantial. I mean, I hope they're not following the like, well, is 30 levels too much to grind? If that raid layer comes out on Friday, yes, 30 levels is going to be crazy to grind,
Mm-hmm.
especially if all we're doing is the last wish raid, and
Yeah.
all that.
But so I don't know if it's possible for Bungie as a studio to put this like size expansion out every year, but I hope it is. Like I would rather see a DLC of this size come out once a year with like the annual pass each year to keep you going than a Destiny 3. I would rather see them continue to expand this world than start back over with a Destiny 3 and have a whole new set of problems, personally.
I can agree with that. Yeah, like, and I think that's like one of the biggest kneecaps of this franchise so far
Yeah.
is the fact that they leave so much behind when they move to the new game.
Mhm.
Like, we were talking about like raids not too long ago, like with like being able to overpower them. Like, we don't even have an option to even do them, which is like really unfortunate. And I feel like they lose so much of their like selling power, and like their world building is suffering because of it in the same light. Like, they could do so much
Yeah.
if they just brought it forward, and I'd love to keep it in the future.
Like I know
We'll see.
eventually they're going. The reason that they have this
the
schedule.
Leviathan can leave.
Well, the reason they have this schedule is because of console technology. You know, it's because they have limitations to what they can develop because of the consoles, and as that technology progresses, they're going to want to develop a new game for the new console. I don't know when the new consoles are coming out, but I hope they at least wait till then before making a Destiny 3. And when they make a Destiny 3, they should make your characters go forward, honestly, you know, and not make it suffer from the same problem we have now. Like, I want to see this game last at least 5 years instead of 3. 3 was not enough for them to make a Destiny 2 and have it be a completed game at launch. So if they're going to do that again, which I'm not saying they should make a new game, but that I think that they should
We actually
take
talked
the
about it.
time. You know,
Well, we actually talked about it and said that they shouldn't make a new game.
I don't
Like,
think they should, but I
they
think that
should
they're going
instead
to.
make these yearly updates. That's much better, and instead put their entire team on that instead of people working on Destiny 3, which they are right now.
But so EXO, if say the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox whatever comes out, you know, they're not going to want to continue developing on this engine with the same limitations. They're going to want to improve the technology, and you can't keep the game Destiny 2 and then tell a whole set of players like, oh well, you actually can't play this game anymore.
Well, Blizzard ran into this problem early on in their life cycle, kind of like I think Cataclysm or whatever. But every single expansion, their engine, their core engine is the same, and you always have those people that complain about the engine and things like that, and say there's problems, but still millions of people play it, and yet every single expansion, the engine has changed so drastically that it almost feels like a brand new game every single time you do it. But then it sort of like grew into its own kind of art style that the engine kind of like does, and so they just leaned into that more.
Does Blizzard build their own engine, or do they have someone? Do they use a
their engine is
engine?
built? Their engine's built in house, and it's it uses OpenGL. So
got it.
Yeah, like it's very possible for Bungie to do it. Like, just give us massive updates. Like,
It's like easy. Just give us massive updates.
Just give us massive.
But they did, didn't they? Like, they changed a lot of how the engine works in the latest.
They
update
said they
before
did.
We got the expansion. They went to AVX instructions, which is a big change in terms of like the core.
Yeah,
engine.
Hex
Like,
has been complaining about that because
I'm actually the opposite. A lot of the bugs that I was running into, like, I no longer run into them. Like, they were actually like really annoying. Like spamming crouch or alt would open up chat. It no longer happens.
This is a niche thing, but if you are somebody who overclocks that uses an AVX offset, you are going to experience a lower frame rate. That is what some people have been complaining about. So.
Oh, I don't use an AVX offset, but I do overclock. So.
Yeah, I don't use one
same,
either, but.
Same.
If you an AVX offset like won't affect gaming that doesn't use AVX instructions, so you can like overclock like above what you normally could, and then use an AVX offset to keep your temperatures within reason. But if it uses AVX instructions, your processors will downclock for that process.
Yeah, but I've never seen. I mean, we talked about the heat issue. I haven't seen a pop up on the thing since they changed it. And we hadn't played the entire time at 24 hours. And
yeah.
I've had power issues. I've had overclock issues with the overclock and things like that. I worked them out over the time. It's still running at 5 gigahertz. It's still running without an AVX offset. And with this expansion, it feels so smooth.
Yes,
yeah, and they didn't even put out a driver. There's no NVIDIA driver.
No, we're gonna get one. I know we are, but it's it'll probably be next week.
I just think that they have so much potential, and I think they're gearing up because, like, let's be honest, the jump from the Xbox 360 to like the new generation of consoles, let's say like the PS, massive jump forward. Like, I don't believe the next jump to PS5 will be as big as the last one, especially.
I do think it will be.
You think it'll be as big as like it was from Xbox 360?
Look how long they're taking. Look how long they're taking
on the PlayStation 4 is basically a glorified, I want to say 1050. Well, it's an RTX 590, I want to say. So it's
the Xbox One X is like a 1060 pretty much, like the $500 one, and the original Xbox, or I'm sorry, the even the processor in the One X is basically an i3, like a 7th gen i3. It's a Jaguar processor. It has a bunch of cores, but like they're not very fast. Yeah. So
I think my point is that, like, in the formula that is Destiny, there were several limitations of like the Xbox that, like, they just couldn't do several things on that system that you could on the new generation. So they had to drop in, then obviously get a new game from it. But like, if they keep this current format of Destiny, all they're going to do possibly in the new updates is like make it look better. But like, are we asking for a new format? Like, do we want bigger activities? At that point, I totally agree with you guys. They're probably just going to like go with the new hardware, drop the old hardware. And like, at that point, we're probably going to get a new game because obviously they have to drop the old hardware. And that's the easiest way to do it.
Yeah.
Is just come out with a new game. Like, but if we keep the current like format, like the PS4 and Xbox One can play this game just fine. And us as PC players, we're happy because it looks fucking great. And, like, we don't really have any problem with the format. At least I don't.
Yeah, not for now.
There's
Maybe
no
one day I'll
problem. I
want,
don't have
like,
any problem now, no. But
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
Destiny 3's in 2 years and
God,
they
I
don't,
hope it's not in 2 years.
they don't take
They are
any of the
not going to
lessons.
be ready to release a competent Destiny 3 in 2 years.
What if they don't take any of the lessons,
Yeah.
forward?
Yeah.
We're back in the same spot we were with Destiny 2.
What they could do, they could do the same thing they did with Rise of Iron. They released an expansion and said, "I'm sorry if you're playing on the 360 or the original Xbox,
Yeah, you're not allowed to
or the
join, yeah.
original PlayStation 3, then you can't play this expansion."
Well, what the heck would
Yeah.
they do then? Like they would cut out the Xbox One and PlayStation 4,
Yes.
and
Eventually,
they would just go on the PS4 Pro and Xbox One
Right.
X.
no,
Or maybe
no,
even
no,
cut
no,
out
no,
those
no.
too.
They're gonna wait for a new generation. They're not gonna do it
Yeah,
on.
it'd be like the PS5.
No, I
and
mean like
whatever.
like the Rise of Iron expansion next year.
No,
Yes,
I'm not
yeah.
saying they should do
Or
it next
maybe
year,
not then.
and I don't think that they should do it. Like, it wouldn't make sense to say, like, the game runs on this version of the PS4, but not this version of the PS4. They have to
Sony's-
wait for PS5.
Sony's moving fast on their PlayStation.
Yeah.
It's potentially going to be launching in 2020.
Right.
So
And this is the
PlayStation
thing.
5. I thought it was sooner.
I don't think
I thought it
so.
was like 2019.
Maybe. but-
it might be even 2019. Yeah.
So if it comes out, like, they're not going to immediately say, okay, this console's out. Like, it's only going to be on this console going forward. It'll probably be a year after or something,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, I hope they can bring everything forward. It would make it so much better.
So, a general reminder, guys, next week, during this time, unfortunately, we will be playing the raid. There will be no GuardianCast episode next week. It just happens to fall that way. So,
Mid-raid podcast?
yeah.
Why not?
No.
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 Hey guys, this spoiler warning, so you guys know. No, if you guys do want to watch us while we fight the raid, I'm sure we'll all be streaming. I'll be streaming in my own group, but Recked and Maple and
Godin and Michael and
Huffy-
Lenny and Wits.
I guess Huffy's
Yeah.
doing his own as well. Like
Yeah.
he's doing one like
with his
another
clan.
group, but-
With his clan,
yeah.
yeah. So, that's all I have to talk about this week, unless you guys have anything else.
No, SGM just
Okay.
mentioned that he had done that twice about the Prime Engrams. Like he had left
cool.
it, and they were abandoned.
Feels bad, man.
Yeah.
Feels bad.
Yeah, I feel bad for you.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for coming to the 20th episode. Maple, thanks for coming on.
30th.
Thank you for
30th
having me.
episode. Yeah,
3-0.
3-0. I'm Recked, now Recked Expert on Twitch. It's been an awesome episode. See you guys next 2 weeks from now.
2 weeks from now. Yep.